My name is Richard, and for the past few months of my life, I've been an alcoholic. Words I thought I'd never utter in my life. But in the split moment, and after a split decision, the impossible became a reality for me. One of the first things you do when you go to an AA meeting, besides the introduction crap, is you try to figure out what triggered your abuse. There are times I choose not to reflect back on what may have caused it. You see, back in the day, I say that as if I'm old, but all I am is a 20-year-old F-up who decided to light the fuse that would eventually take his life. In this very short existence I've had, I can say that I have lost many things. I've lost friends due to my abuse, I've lost faith due to my abuse, and I've lost a sense of personal identity. You see, I wasn't always like this. I had goals and ambitions, and now as I sit on this cold afternoon, I see the fragments of the dreams I used to have. I don't quite know how to explain it. You know, it seems almost surreal, but I've come to accept what I've become. You ever hear of those people who go through life using statistics as a mean of enforcing their point? To me, that never made sense. I was never a believer of numbers and felt it was bullcrap reasoning, lacking proof of validity. I recall the day I became another statistic. It was a Wednesday night, and there I was attempting to escape by hitting the bottle, with one main problem, besides the fact that it was illegal drinking. I had stolen someone's identity in an effort to purchase what I saw as my only means of happiness. As the man at the counter so laxly accepted the unauthentic form of identification I had, I began remembering something I had once read on a poster. It stated, 3 out of 5 college students will become alcohol abusers during their time there. Are you one of them? For the first time in my life at that moment, I began believing in statistics. I, the lost soul with no identity who had robbed a man of his own, was the person they had in mind when creating the poster. You can imagine this contributed to a binge, one that nearly took my life. I was told by the hospital that I was found by another person relative to my age. All I could think about was, what if that person had not found me? The medical practitioners said that I likely would have choked on my own vomit that night, and thus my death would have been inevitable. And so after hearing this, I made an effort to find the person who saved me. And I did. During our meeting, I began to thank her, but it was clear I had not learned my lesson. I was inebriated during our encounter. To this, she responded with an answer I'll never forget. She said prior to that night, she too drank, but always in moderation. She said that after witnessing my body on the ground in my state of being resembling a corpse, she said that since that evening she made herself a promise to never consume again, because if this is where it leads, she wanted no part of it. She then opened her door and told me I was headed to my death, and that this encounter we had had further strengthened the promise she had made. She was right. I was almost there. And so with this realization, I made a pact that evening and began consuming less. Nevertheless, I was still consuming. I began praying for my cure, praying I might be healed of this terrible disease. And for months, I still felt it alive in me, and I still felt it inside of me. But then, as I woke up this morning, I felt different. I felt as if things were going to change. I felt the need to rid myself of the disease. I once read a statistic that said 100% of the time, change is brought upon by our choosing to bring it about. And as I thought about the statistic, never had I wanted to be more part of one, and did I at that time.
man, give this guy a call. Tell him Jenny sent you. It'll get you going.
I appreciate it. I do not know where I will go from here, but there is hope. And where there's hope, there is chance. And where there is chance, there is promise. And where there is promise, well, that's where I want to be. All it takes is the first step.
Make me all the same all the time. Change me into something new. Tell me what's the thorn in my side. Tell me what's the thorn in my side. Break me into